think that when we're in a housing crisis and the city is trying to criminalize homelessness, that $26 is worth it to keep people housed and in their homes? I think so. Yeah. So that's what we're fighting for. We're fighting for a drop in the bucket so that this can change the lives of over a quarter of Albany's renters. This city is the only city upstate that took this long. We have taken the longest to do this vacancy study out of every city in upstate New York. 8 months.
Boo!
Boo!
Because they don't believe in tenant power. They don't believe in the power of tenants and that tenants should have stability. Because landlords are organized. Landlords are always organized. Landlords are organizing right now. They're talking to each other. Euro landlords are in landlord associations that are suing every single city that opts into rent stabilization. But that is why we have to be better and stronger and more nimble than those landlords, because there are so many more of us than there are of them. And when tenants organize, when tenants come together, what do? We win! Yeah! So that's what we're here to do. That's all my additional fun facts.
Let's go.
Do you feel like the security waiting thing is going to find you?
Yeah, I'm like, you're doing too much. You don't get much from that.
Sold out, but there's not much space there. If you feel very clean.
What's up, Speed? How you doing, Speed?
Yeah, but I'm gonna start leaving like a sticky note on his desk where keep.
We got 13 people in here.
I
just-
Can you come pick me up from the office?
Can I ask you guys a question? Want to know what's going on? Why we're here?
We're here for rent stabilization. The Emergency Tenant Protection Act would create a rent guidelines board that would determine the fair amount of rent in Albany. They would have the ability to look back over a period of time and determine if the rent has been too much. And then on that determination, they would have the power to actually lower rent in Albany. A vacancy study was needed to opt in, and that's to see how many vacant apartments are available for eligible buildings. Eligible buildings are 6 units or more, built before 1974. And that vacancy study came back saying that we had an 8.33% vacancy rate here in Albany when we needed 5%. But we have concerns about that study because just with a little research from folks at our office, we discovered that a lot of the apartment buildings landlords that were questioned in the vacancy study did not have residential occupancy permits, which means that they're not legally renting the apartments, which means those apartments should be counted as not vacant, not eligible for renting. And we determined that we had a 4.4% What was the percent?
There's about a 4.51% vacancy rate if we remove the apartments that are being either illegally rented or just not eligible for rent control because they don't have the basic piece of paper that says that this is a unit that's fit for people to live in.
Right.
So if someone can't live in it, how are we counting that as an eligible vacancy?
Right.
So with that, and then also the timeline, this is the longest any city has taken to do this vacancy study. It started at the end of February. We were supposed to get this done in June. We got the results October 28th.
8
and
months.
throughout that process, you know, that's the whole summer where our student population, state workers are all leaving for just a couple months and then coming back. So that vacancy rate is really thrown off. If we're looking at months and months of vacancies, how do we know when a place was vacant? When? There's not really a way to check that, and it hasn't been verified. So we're asking for an outsourced agency to do the vacancy study again and properly, like in Kingston, where they redid their vacancy study and was able to opt in.
They
Okay.
did their vacancy study in about 3 months. Both
Wow.
of them.
And tenants there are in that process of getting money back from their landlords. And since then, every year, the Rent Guidelines Board has been freezing rents. Those tenants have not gotten a rent increase. They got their rent decreased 15%, and they're not getting those increases. That's what we could have here in Albany, and that's what we're pushing for right now.
Nice, nice, nice. Good stuff. All right. We get off of that.